everyone, and thank you for joining me this evening on this rendition of Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. Thanks, everyone, for allowing me to start the show a little bit late tonight. I went to the county concert series tonight. It got delayed for a little bit, so I did only stay for half of it and came home so I could to do the show, but I did stay for half the series. The concert tonight was pretty good little show. And I saw several people there tonight, so it was good seeing people there. So let me start off by saying hello to people who have joined me in the chat today, and then we'll get off talking about a few things else tonight. So let's start with Lee Wright. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Cheryl Moulton. Thanks for joining us. Sherry Thomas. Great to see you, Miss Thomas. Clayton Orwig. Great to have you on the show. Yoga with Joy. Joy Powers. Great to have you on the show tonight. Vuka Russo, great to have you on the show tonight. Mary Boysworth, great to have you on the show tonight. And anyone else that says hello, just pop up, say hello. Ben and Cheryl Garcia, thanks for joining me tonight. So anybody else who wants to join in and say hello, come on, join on in, say hello, and let's go ahead and have a nice little show tonight and talk about a few things going on in fabulous Rockdale County, Georgia. That's right. It's the Speak Your Mind show with host Larry Cox. And we're going to talk about our little county of Rockdale County and things that are going on here. And I know you guys like talking about what's going on in Rockdale as much as I do. I see my good friend Clayton Orwig. I don't know if I said hello to Clayton, but hello, Clayton. Glad to have you in the chat tonight also. So, like I told you guys, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to attend some of the concert tonight. Beth and I went out a little early tonight, this evening. Started raining a little after 4, rained for a little over an hour. Then the sun came out, it cleared up, and the concert was able to proceed about an hour delayed. Instead of starting at 5, started a little after 6. So Beth and I stayed and watched the first set, and then left after that, so we would have time for me to get back here, get everything geared up, and get on here to have a nice chat with you folks. And what I enjoy doing on Sunday evening. Sunday evenings, I enjoy firing up the studio here and having a good conversation with you guys. I see the second most popular talk show host in Rockdale County has joined me tonight. Welcome, CJ Lester. How you doing tonight? Great to have you joining Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox tonight. Great to have you here this evening. So also we have this concert series that the counties have just kicked in. The cities just ended. And the counties, they've got 2 more after tonight. Charlotte Gellert, I saw Charlotte. She just said hi. She was at the concert tonight, and it was a great concert. Then also, don't forget this coming Thursday, we have another concert coming up. Actually, we have the Red, White, and Boom coming up this Thursday in Old Town Conyers on Bank Street. So we'll be having a concert on Bank Street. We'll having fireworks. Those festivities start at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it'll be great to see all of you come out tonight, this coming Thursday, and see you all at the Red, White, and Boom. And it'll be great. Great show, great festivities, great fireworks. So come on out Thursday. Join us for another concert. And then, of course, in July, the county will have another concert over at the lawn at Walker Park. Or Walker Field, whatever they want to call that. So come on out. Let's have a good time. I enjoyed this evening, the concert that I went to, and it was great to see a lot of you out there, which I did see some good friends out there this evening. Got to say hi to people, and and I've always loved doing that. And then, it's interesting talking to people, and and they're do I know you? And I said, yeah, I'm Larry Cox. I'm on the school board. And they say, first thing they go to is, well, don't you have that show? I watch you on the show. So more people know me from the show than they actually do, I think, the Board of Education. So the show's a big hit. People like the show. They like watching the recorded version of the show, and part of that is you guys, because without your interaction and without your comments, then the show isn't anything, because I think this is an interactive um, show, and I need this audience to participate, be part of the conversation, because it lets people know what feelings that you guys have in this community about what's going on. You guys have voiced your opinion about the building in Rockdale County. You've voiced your opinion about what kind of businesses you think we need to see in Rockdale County. And without people knowing what you have to say, then it's not a good thing. Just so you know, there's a survey out there going out to seniors and their parents about where we think we should have the graduation. I personally have not got a chance to see the survey. I would have liked to have seen the survey before it went out. That's something I think we'll talk about the board about that. But if you are a parent of a rising senior and the seniors, make sure you guys fill your surveys out about where you think we want to have graduation and such. And I think we'll talk about this survey that went out, and I think there's going to probably need to be a follow-up survey, because I think we're going to need a little more information than what went out in this survey. But please do answer if you're a parent or a senior graduating from the Rockdale County school system in 26. Please fill that survey out so we can begin to know what you parents and seniors think about the graduation process and when, where, and how that should happen. So it will be great for you to do. Also this week, the Board of Education, we had our meeting on Thursday, and we voted to purchase those Yonder pouches so that we can secure cell phones from pre-K through 8, run that program through this year. And then I'm hoping, after we run a successful pilot program with that next year, so this will be for the 25-26 school season year. I'm hoping the 26-27 school year will include a distraction-free school policy for 9 through 12, and that's what I'm hoping for, that we'll be able to do after running this initial pilot program. Which, now remember, the state has required that Board of Educations across the state of Georgia come up with a policy and then enact a policy by the beginning of next school year. But I would like to see, since we've enacted ours a year earlier to work the bugs out, once the bugs are worked out on this, I would love to see us enact this from not just K through 8, but expand it next year from 9 to 12. Joy, why didn't the board get to see those surveys? Board, Joy, don't know. I think that's some questions I think that'll be asked this coming week. But I didn't get to see that survey. I would have liked to have seen that survey, and I think I will get to see the survey. But I think, from what I understand, surveys maybe needs a little more information so the board can look at that. That's my personal take on it. Again, I'm going to throw out a disclaimer right now. What I'm saying right now is not the opinion of the Board of Education. I am just one member of the board, and as one person, I can make no policy or decide nothing for the board. But as a board member, I do have an opinion, and I can convey your opinion as my constituents. So that's what I'd like but I do want to throw my disclaimer out there that I'm not speaking on behalf of the board or the district. I am just speaking on my own behalf at this point. So just so you guys know, and I need to throw that disclaimer out probably every week if I mention things about the school board and stuff, that I'm not speaking on behalf of the board or any policy of the board. I am just speaking my opinion and my right to express my opinion that the Constitution guarantees me. Just because I'm on the board can't take away my constitutional right of free speech. I just have to make it clear that I am not speaking on behalf of the board when I say things like I just said this evening. So I wanted to make that clear, and I hope you guys understand that. So, but yeah, we purchased those Yonder pouches, and then also we actually passed the budget Thursday night also. And then people, some people were wondering about the millage rate. Well, you guys have not set a millage rate. No, we have not set a millage rate, but the county, the city, nor the Board of Education in Rockdale County have set a millage rate or had millage rate hearings because the tax commissioner's office is not able to give us the digest and the rollback rates as of yet. But we have set a budget, and we do know what mill we'll have to set that at to be able to finance that budget. So we'll have to see what all that comes back with whenever the tax assessor's office or the tax office is able to give us to play with that and whatever. She said, I am understanding that New Birth is offering to pay for college tuitions. I have no idea about New Birth is offering to pay for college tuitions. I have no idea about anything about that. Nothing that I know. So if that's something that's out there, it's nothing that I'm aware of as an individual or anything. So I do not know. I do know that that would be an interesting concept. I mean, what tuition are they willing to? Whose tuition? How much? What are the qualifications? I mean, I do not know. And George Kelichek, the taxpayer. Great to have you on, Cheryl Moulton. Just mentioned that comment. Cheryl, great to see you in the chat tonight. Also, and then I also was going to mention the zoning meeting, which Cheryl put up there was an interesting. And then James Colbert knocked it out of the park. I did watch almost that whole meeting before I had to go into my meeting Thursday night at the board, and it was an interesting little debate there, and I did find it very interesting, some of the comments that were made and stuff, and we see that issue rebirthing itself and coming back to the board because the courts put it back in the hands of the Board of Commission once C Farms and the developer, Mr. C, and the developer appealed it to the courts, and the court sent it back to the Board of Commission to hear again. But the Board of Commission did have a planning zoning hearing, and they did hear that petition one more time from Mr. C and the developer. So that was, and I do agree with you, Cheryl, it was very interesting conversation to say the least, because I was able to watch the majority of that before I went into the Board of Education meeting on Thursday night. So it was interesting. But yeah, I think we're tentatively, the board, scheduled to have millage rate hearings in mid and into July, and that is actually still dependent on the tax office getting us the information about that. And I think they had hoped to be able to do that by next week or the week after. and we'll see by then. And if they're not able to do that, then we may have to push that even further. And that's going to be an interesting how that plays out. If we have to push setting the millage rate and it pushes tax collections, then that'll be interesting because that will impact the budget because we won't be able to start collecting taxes. We might if we can't get that set and that millage rate stuff done by the end of July and it pushes into August, then that could push the beginning of tax collection from November 15th to December 15th, which means none of us entities start receiving monies till January, and that can impact our budgets and and collections and such. So we'll have to see how that plays out, and as those developments occur, we'll talk about that on the show and the implications for specifically the Board of Education and what measures we would need to take to assure that the board is able to cover their debts monthly, past October, November. We'll see what we need to do with that. But it was very interesting, very, very interesting meetings this week. And like I said, I really enjoyed the concert tonight, and I'm going to enjoy the Red, White, and Boom on Thursday. So what do you guys think? So Cheryl says that, Mr. C and the developer are sore loser and are strong arming the law. Yeah, I did see a little bit of that too. And then they threw in that little jab about violating Mr. C's constitutional rights with being able to do what he wants to with his properties. Now, trust me, I am all for property rights, but I'm also all about let's determining what a community is going to look like and zoning and doing with properties what they're zoned to be. That's what I would like, I would like to see, right? So, that's just me. I love, I would like to see that. And Tina Hobbs says citizens have constitutional rights also. And I totally agree with that citizens have constitutional rights also. But I do think, what we need to do is we need to make sure that our zoning laws, our ordinances are in place, that they're sound. And then we say when you buy that land and you purchase these properties, what you can do with that land when you purchase those properties. What you can do. What the long-term plan for the land is in that community. What the community wants their community to look like. And when you purchase that land, you're agreeing to go along with what the long-term development plan is for the community that you've invested property in. So that's what I see it as, right? You do have the right to do with your property as you want, but when you purchase property in a community, and let's just say that community, that property was originally agricultural, when you purchased it, you really shouldn't expect anything further than it be agricultural property. And if the zoning changes and you're allowed to do additional things, then you're allowed to do additional things. But if you initially invested in that property and it was agricultural, then you don't really have spilled milk to cry over, because when you originally invested, that's what it was. Lee Wright, they have presented this property over 14 times to the board. And then what does everyone think about the Rockdale Baptist Church property sale? Let's think, Buca Russo, let's concentrate on new homes and let's on business and not new homes. And simple question to the builders: who are building these homes to? Hey, and that's what I ask all the time too: is when we look at the trends, we look at who's moving to Rockdale County, we look at what we would like to do for Rockdale County, and the build and what they're building, and those plans really don't match up with who is moving to Rockdale County at all. No, do they? They don't, right? That's just plain, simple fact. And then it's crazy. So I do want to throw out there July the 1st, this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. I think at the auditorium in Old Town, we're going to have a meeting about taxes and about what that looks like for the county, the city, and the Board of Education. So I think this is a must-attend meeting for the citizens, and not only for the citizens, but I think elected officials. I would love to see Board of Education members there, City Council members there, and Board of Commission members there. I think we all need to be there and listen to the tax ramifications and what all this means, especially getting to hear the tax commissioner talk about this millage rate process and them not being able to provide the information to the three entities yet. And hopefully Tuesday they may have some news about when they think they'll be able to get this information to the county, the city, and the Board of Education. So that's what I would like to see. I'd like to really see a lot of us attend this meeting on Tuesday, 6 p.m. At the auditorium, so we can learn a little bit more about our tax stuff this week. Yeah, Sandra's supposed to be there, so Charlotte says, yeah. So just in Charlotte, I intend to be there. So I am going to go to that because I want to know. I mean, it's very important that that people who are going to be setting your tax rates know the process and know the ramifications. I think, as we have observed in the past, a lot of elected officials really don't understand the process of setting the tax rate. They say they do, but they don't. Because in the past, you've had officials say that they've lowered your taxes when they've adjusted the millage rate, and that's not true. So, millage rate's a multiplier. And with it and home values, there's the formula that it happens. So, Mary's thinking we need a pool at Parker Road, because we have a park there. We don't have a pool there. So is that what you're saying, Mary, that you think we need a water park over at Parker Road? We'll see about that. I mean, I personally don't want to see any park at Parker Road. I would like to see that developed in another manner. One of the most valuable pieces of property in Metro Atlanta, totally being underutilized. That's my opinion on this, right? Personal opinion, nothing to do with any positions I hold, other than I feel that that land over at Parker Road could be utilized for the benefit of this community in a much greater way than it is being used at this time. And that's my take and opinion on it. And I don't think anything's going to make me change my opinion or waver on my opinion on that. And if you guys Colbert calling in late. Hey, James, nice to have you on the show tonight. I've already mentioned you a little bit here tonight about your the planning meeting this week, and very interesting, the conversation and the dialogue. So thanks for everything you've done and the information that you brought forward. And Bill Campbell says the reasons that they have never built an outdoor pool is that most subdivisions have their own pools. I know plenty of people don't live in subdivisions in Rockdale County that don't have access to a pool. and I would say it's the majority of Rockdale Countyans that don't live in a subdivision and don't have access to a pool. Just, I think that's the reality of it. So, but I am one to say again, though, I would not want to build a pool at Parker Road because I would not want a water park there. That's just my personal opinion on it. Anybody else is welcome to have their opinion on it, and I understand. So Mary said she understands that the county no longer gives swimming lessons in Johnson Park, and you got to go out of the county to do it. Cheryl, say commercial needs to be a senior center. Just my opinion. Interesting. Good alternative option there, Cheryl. Good. That's what we have to do. We have to throw alternative scenarios and options. Bill, I understand you just tell me why they made that decision, and I just, I understand the reasoning behind the decision, but just want to point out that the majority of the people in this county don't live in subdivisions with access to pools. So that's just something. Well, Vugarusa said, "See, I think all the parks are broke at this time." No, they're not broke. Let's be real about something. Parks do not pay for themselves, never will pay for themselves. They are an amenity that us as taxpayers, it's part of our tax dollars that we do that. And that's why I've said, and I said this last week on the show, I think we need 5 or 6 quality parks instead of 20 something parks that are halfway managed, because we don't have the resources or personnel to manage that many parks. So, I mean, that's just my opinion on that, right? So, that's what I think. So I don't know. That's just somebody is calling me, and I'm telling them to text me, and I will respond texting. If you hold on 1 second. But no, like I'm saying, a lot of the things that I put out here, it's just my opinion, and it's all of our opinions. It doesn't. But and we all have a right to voice our opinions and our voices be heard, and that's one of the important reasons that this show exists. This show exists so that you, as citizens of Rockdale County, have a way to let your opinion be heard other than at Board of Education meetings, Board of Commission meetings, City Council meetings, and town halls. Because you can come on this show and put in the comments things that you think and that are your opinions. And a lot of people watch this. Like I said, we get thousands of views monthly of people who go back and watch the recordings of this show. And this show performs a valuable service. It's just like tonight. I was at the concert, spoke to a few people, and they know me from the show. They were, yeah, you're on the Board of Education, but I watch your show. I listen to the show, and I like what's going on. And 2 people tonight even told me, they really, they moved here to Rockdale County. They like the atmosphere, but they don't like all the growth, and they don't like the direction the county is going in. And this is even after we had a very spirited election and defeating incumbent politicians a year ago, right? People are still unsettled. They still don't like the direction that things are going. I mean, you got to remember, before this administration came in, like 6,500 housing units were approved. I think, what is it, 20 some hundred uh, have already, been built, and there's still, another 4,000 that are possible that can be built that may or may not, ever be built. But we got to look, as these things are happening. These aren't things that this current administration or folks voted on. It is things that have been decided previously, and it's the consequences of previous administration you still deal with, and that's a reality. Charlotte Gellert said Sherry Washington was at the concert. Sherry usually comes to most all the concerts and such, I've noticed. So she's still out there, doing things, uh, and that's okay. I mean, you're a resident of this county. You have the right to get out there and do things. And that's good, right? It's good. So, what else do you guys see going on in the county that you'd like to chat about? What else is going on that you think we need to talk about tonight? Cheryl said she hasn't moved yet. Yeah, that's interesting. No, she's not. She's still here. That's okay, right? Uh, uh, there's more housing units coming to as Ebenezer and 138. That's what we talking about, all the clear cutting that went there. Uh, that's what it is. It's more housing units that had been approved previously. So we talked about that, right? Um, and that's what's going on. So what do you guys think? Do you would you like to see um, what changes do you want to see? What changes did you think you were going to see when you changed elected officials? What changes are you pleased with, and what changes are and what hasn't changed that you're not happy with? Because I think that's the kind of things that they need to hear. What are you pleased with, and that what changes haven't occurred that you're not pleased with? Uh, William Campbell is code enforcement doesn't proactively look for code violations; they react to citizens' complaints. Do you know where they will have us park on Thursday, and where will the shuttle be? You'll still have a lot of your locations around Old Town, and I think you can park at Parker Road. And they are talking about shuttling. Go to the city's website and look up the Red, White, and Boom, and you'll be able to look at all that stuff. Um, that would Charlotte says RCA. And Ms. Ruth says, I am waiting for the senior tax reduction on school taxes. And remember, that is something that the local legislators have to do through legislation, is to amend that. So remember, and I do think that is something that that they said they were going to work on. So that may be something that you're going to see this coming session. But that's something we have to reach out to our local legislators about, and it just depends on what they do, how they do it, whether it's received well at the legislative process, because it may or may not be received well. It depends on what local legislation they would like to. Like if they did something like they did before, took it to 35 to 50, take it from 50 to 80 or 90, something like that. I mean, I think that would be okay. But I think you have to watch what we're doing because it may not get support and it may not make it out of committee. And that's just fact. So we need to be careful about what we do and make sure whatever we're going to do, it is going to be something that is going to be that the legislature will look at. James, I was hoping that we would see some action reducing costs of the JAC. You know, James, I think that's something that we all had hoped that we would see, and then I think we get the reasoning that contracts had already been signed and there was nothing anybody could do. You know what? I mean, I know contracts had already been signed, but I've worked for the government all the time in my business, and you know, contracts are broken every day. Just want you to know that, right? Contracts are broken every day. And government entities usually write those contracts that those out clauses always benefit them. And if Rockdale County doesn't do the same thing, then maybe we need to change legal counsel if we don't have contracts that give us an advantage on breaking contracts. It's never had a government contract that the advantage didn't go to the government. Just saying, never. So, you know, that's what, you know, what I think. And then, you know, and so, you know, I think you go to this, you look at that, and that, you know, that's something we just need to realize that's a reality. Is, you know, people was hoping that they would see some relief on that, see that project be downsized, not cost as much. And we've not seen that, right? So I think that has been something that we've all been disappointed. Vuko Russo, with a fine, you can break any contract. Don't be fooled. Yeah, yes, Ms. Russo, you are 100% correct, and I've always made that statement. There has been there's a consequence sometimes, but most of the time, government contracts they can break that thing and they not be no fine, they not be no penalty if the government is the one that wants to break it, because you know they can a lot of times do this without prejudice. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, it is interesting, but I think it's something, you know, let's be real. You've seen the videos and the flybys, and Alex McDonald has done a progress thing with his drone. I mean, that's no stopping that. I mean, that is now, it has gone too far to stop it, right? It has gone at this point too far to stop. But back in January, it wasn't too far to stop. But we soldiered on, and now you got what you got, and that's what happened. Anything else you guys would like to talk about? So if not, I will end the show this evening. Thank you guys for allowing me to do a little concert thing tonight and come on late and still do an abbreviated show. I enjoyed it. Here in about 2 weeks, Judge McCray is going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about his being appointed judge, how that's going, some initiatives that he is implementing as our new state court judge, and I think it'll be very very good, and that'll be interesting. So, but again, thank you guys for joining me for a late rendition of Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. We'll be back here next week. We'll be at our regular time at 8 p.m. And as usual, I think we'll have some interesting conversation next week, and we'll talk about the Red, White, and Boom, and how good I think that was. And I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Why don't you come out? I'll be there. Say hello, and let's chat a little bit in Old Town. Thank you. Good night, and I'll see you